So, in order to keep things fresh, I have been bouncing between various games. Obviously, I'm a variety type of gal. That's just what I do. If there's nothing to look forward to, then that means that we have to go back. And there are two games in particular that I have been going back to. One of which will get a lot more videos coming very, very soon, probably next week or so. I've gone back to playing the first Descendant, and by playing I mean that Fish has been dragging me through all of its various maps and missions, all the while I'm kicking and screaming. And the reason for this is because a lot of people have been mentioning the game as like a net positive, and I kind of understand why. It's the characters. Of course it's the characters. What else could it possibly be if not for the characters? Both Fleek and Kryel often mention and reference the first Descendant as this beacon of light that the games industry is changing for the better. And every time it happens, I get more and more confused. Obviously the character designs are fantastic, but is there really anything else? Is that all that it takes? Well, in order to find out, I decided that regardless of my past feelings, I would give it another go. And regardless of how much I dislike it, which is a lot, I'm going to stick to it until I get to the bottom of the question. Luckily, they made it a little bit easier for me because there was a login event going on where if you log in every day for 2 weeks, you get ultimate money, which was one of the Descendants that I wanted. I could have gotten, but chose not to, in some twisted idea of strategy. I went and got Ultimate Valby instead. It's a whole thing. I've got Ult Bunny, I've got Ult Valby. I just need to get through the story, or something like that. People often compare the first Descendant to Warframe, and they need to stop doing that, because this game is more Destiny than it could ever dream to be Warframe. I played the first Descendant with Fish for a good 4 or 5 hours, and I never swapped weapons a single time. Which is very, very interesting because they actually gave me a legendary rifle, I think, at level 1. That was kind of them, right? Wrong. It turns out in order to upgrade legendary weapons, you need some sort of special doodad. And I had them when I had my ultimate SMG, which was also given to me by the game, now that I'm thinking about it. I didn't know that this doodad was rare or hard to come by, so I was using them on the SMG so I could keep using it. I don't know if you know this or not, but I really like SMGs. Anyway, this not being able to upgrade weapons, or these legendary weapons, is a gigantic pain. Because you go to upgrade the weapon, and the game goes, you don't have this doodad. And I go, okay game, how do I get this doodad? And then the game goes, in order to get this, you either buy it from the shop with real money, or you craft it. And I go, okay, sure, fine. I go over to the crafter lady, talk to her. I'm like, okay lady, I want to make this doodad. And she goes, you can't because you don't have any weapon parts. And I go, that's a little odd, but okay. I'll just go dismantle weapons. I mean, I have tons of the darn things. I dismantle all of the weapons that I don't currently have equipped, and I don't get any weapon parts whatsoever. So I'm like, okay, how do you get weapon parts if it's not from dismantling weapons? I go into the menu and it says, yes, you do dismantle weapons to get weapon parts. And I go, well, what the heck? At this point in time, the game is leading me in circles. It's telling me to do the thing, and then I do the thing, and I don't get what I need. So I refer to Google. Google says that in order to get weapon parts, you have to dismantle weapons from hard mode. I go, okay. I've got a max level Ult Valby, and I've got mods. I did some farming for mods. I'm pretty tough. Maybe I can just farm the easiest hard mode thing and get some weapons and dismantle those, and it won't be a big deal. wrong. In order to unlock hard mode, you have to have done the entire campaign on normal. And this is why the comparison to Warframe makes me so upset. A lot of people say that the star chart in Warframe overwhelms them. But at no point in time did Warframe ever say, hey, if you want to upgrade your special weapon, you need to beat the entire star chart first. And yes, you can buy various upgrade doodads in Warframe with real money, but Warframe gives you dozens, and I really do mean dozens of different ways to earn them in-game yourself. In fact, it's pretty heavily encouraged that you earn it yourself and you save your money for stuff like cosmetics. But that's a different topic. I needed to get through the entirety of the game in order to get to the good part of the game, according to Fish and one of my other friends who plays the first Descendant. And that's a mentality that I just have a very, very difficult time adapting to. I've never had to play a game through its entirety to get to the good part of that game. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, to be completely honest. And its confusion stirs and swirls like a tornado in my mind as to why there are so many people who are just like, yep, good game, this game is great, this game is good. Yeah, bad. I know that things in the gaming industry are bad. They're really, really bad. They're pretty awful right now, I understand that. But there's no way it's that bad where all you have to do is put a juicy butt in front of the screen and everyone just lets go of gameplay, progression, UI design, story. You just need buns and then you're happy? I'm not trying to rag on the first Descendant too much because I've done that. Have I done that enough? I don't know if I've done that enough, but I don't want to beat a dead horse here. Variety is the spice of life. But I can't help but think of all of the other games that feature fan service and sexy characters that also have good gameplay. Senran Kagura, One-Chanbara, Galgun, Bullet Girls Fantasia. I feel like there's more, but that's just off the top of my head. I'm still going through it. According to Fish, there's only 2 more zones until I'll have all of the base whatever unlocked. But I'm having a difficult time imagining what the first Descendant could possibly do at this point that's going to redeem itself. It's not even grind. Like, obviously I've played games with grind. I've played Black Desert Online for crying out loud, and I played that game a lot. If it was just grind, then my tone up until this point would be completely different. I mean, obviously there's a limit to how much grind you can have, but this is... I'm not even grinding, I'm just being drugged through all of the forms of missions that there are. So unless you beat the game and unlock an entire several maps worth of new missions, it's very confusing. And no one can explain it to me, which is why I have to experience it for myself. So, on the side of the other project that will be coming out soon, I will be plucking away at the first Descendant, as well as the first Path of Exile, because I'm actually having fun with Path of Exile. If you happen to know the answer to any of these questions, please leave a comment down below. I'm looking for you first Descendant players and defenders, because I don't get it, and I'm trying very hard to understand. So, if you could help me out, that would be greatly appreciated. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in another video. On time. Hopefully, probably.